Hello there. So one thing I don't see an awful lot about is fitting an internal speaker on the Spectrum Next, and especially the Kickstarter 2. Now the Kickstarter 2 can take a standard beeper, or it can pass the full audio through, so you've got the AYs, digital sound, etc. And I knew that it needed more than just a speaker plugged in to J3, which is where the speaker connects, and that it would require amplification and probably some filtering as well, which is probably why the Next, it's never really been considered to be part of the Next or something that would be configured with the Next as it ships from the factory, because it is a bit fiddly and no one, as far as I'm aware, has really gone into any detail, and I certainly haven't myself with my rudimentary knowledge of electronics, which is quite basic. But asking around a few people, I've been working on this and trying to fine-tune it in my primitive way. And we have, if you can see that. So on the left side here, we have a PAM. It's a PAM 8302. That's a mono amplifier. Does, I think, is it 2 watts or 2.5 watts? And connected to that we have a 8 ohm speaker, which is capable of about 2.5 watts, I think. And obviously the PAM module is this little purple thing here, and I've got some prototype board that I've connected it to so I can add some additional components. So it started out life, as you can see this, as just this, the PAM 8302, and as you can see on that there are 5 connectors. You've got A+, A-, SD, and then you've got VIN, voltage in, and then ground. So in terms of the Next, we connect A+ up to pin 4 on J3. We don't have an A-, so we connect A- straight to ground. I'm not using the shutdown pin at the moment, which is the one in the middle, and then the voltage in comes from pin 1 on J3, and then pin 6 on J3 goes to ground here. But you might see in mine, well actually you can't really see on mine because I need to flip it over, because I was getting a little bit of noise. I tried a different ground, so mine is currently plugged into J15, I think, a ground on J15, but it didn't make a difference. Now I have just put some 3M double-sided tape to roughly keep these things together. I can probably try and get this out. Let's get the SD card out. Do I need to do that? I can probably just, it's not screwed in or anything at the moment because I've been opening it up a lot. Okay, flex tails are in, so I'll just try and take them out. It's quite difficult to do this with everything plugged in. And I have another flex tile going out the back. This flex tile coming out the back is actually Raspberry Pi SD card extender. So yeah, I'm being quite heavy-handed here with my board. Obviously be more careful with yours. I have spares. So I don't know if you can see that. Let me just pop it down and try and lift it up. So I've attached a header to J3 here. Pin 1, as I said, is power, pin 6 is ground, pin 4 is the audio out. And as I mentioned, I was using pin 6 for ground. I did try J15 here to see whether I got slightly cleaner sound, but didn't. So I probably will revert back to using this connector here for the whole lot. And there's not much more to say about that bit really. No. So that's what it looks like. So yeah, the original, one of the original PAM modules. The good thing about this is it has the pot on there, so you can just tweak the volume as well, turn it up, turn it down. Obviously once it's in the case it's stuck at that particular volume, but you can disable the speaker or the internal speaker by pressing the, is it the NMI button? Can't remember. And this is the speaker that I chose. I got a bunch of them, various different sizes, your kind of your more traditional speakers. I tried 1 watt, 2 watt, and then there's another one. Different sizes, 28mm, 30mm, and this one here is 20mm by 4mm. And it gives really the best sound quality, if you can call it that, because it still doesn't sound particularly great, and it's probably not something that I would persist with, because, you know, I guess the question is what do you really need it for. I connect to speakers, but maybe occasionally you don't have speakers or you can't be bothered. So yeah, let me just see if I can get this in view again. So as I say, it's stuck down at the moment with some 3M tape. And what I've tried to do is to create some kind of low and high pass filtering to make the audio sound better. And to do that I've got a, let me just get that there, got a 100 UF cap, which is going between 5 volts and ground. And in front of that I've also got, I think it's a 0.1 UF capacitor. And you'll see here, if I can just get that in shot, there are actually 3 diodes. I started with no diodes, and I'm actually getting voltage coming in over the HDMI. So that's causing things to stay alive when the next is powered off, which is something that we need to be looking at. In order to try and stop that coming through, I added another diode, then I added another diode, and I think I'm kind of marginal at the moment. I was thinking maybe of using a MOSFET to effectively cut power to this when the 9 volt and the 5 volt rail were gone. So these are kinds of the issues that you have in just connecting a speaker that passes all the audio rather than just, you know, having the beeper. Because you can figure on the next whether the full audio signal goes through to here or whether it's just, you know, the beeper, the original beeper sounds and such. So it's not as trivial as you may think, and I guess that if you wanted a decent experience, that you would have to add a bunch of componentry to the Next itself. And this is obviously quite a sizable chunk of thing to stick in there. And also the Next doesn't have any holes in the case, so that any speaker is going to be quite muffled. Although there is a benefit to that, because it can give you a little bassier sound, whereas if you just play this without the case on, it is quite tinny. There's not really any low end at all. So yeah, that is basically my modification. I don't think there's anything more really to be said about it, except maybe I can capture how it sounds if I can get this thing back together again without breaking anything. Which way around do you go? So I need to feed this ribbon cable, which is the Raspberry Pi SD, so I can swap SD cards out easily. Just feed through there, and then try and get these flex tails in without breaking anything. I've just lifted the PAM module off the sticky with my, well, not too careful approach. So I'm just reconnecting the flex tails, and then I'm going to try and get this back where it should be. You go on there. You go around there somewhere. You've got to be mindful on this that the bottom case has things that fit over the screw bosses. Where are we? These things. And so you need to just be mindful of any components in this area here is not going to be fouled by, you know, when you put the case back together. So that's pretty much there, I think. I'm just going to put the case on just because I'm going to turn it over so I can use the keyboard. And I'm not going to screw it together because I'm going to be doing some more stuff. Issue 4B, just in case I forget. Right, so mousey mouse. Which way up does that go? That way. And then feel the HDMI connector. And then Mr. Power. Right. So I switched this on and it should beep. I don't know how well it's going to pick up the audio because my audio is recording from my phone up here, so there's a bit of distance. There you go. I haven't actually got my next screen connected up to this at the moment, so you won't see what I'm actually doing, but I'm moving up and down. I'm going to play some AY music, if I can find it. Just bear with me. Next door, and then... Okay. Funny you can't find a tune when you're looking for it, can you? Ah, Way of the Exploding Fist by Richard Braithwaite. That'll do, I think. You can also do digital audio as well, see what that sounds like. If I fire up an Xmod player. Yeah. And let us try... So it's quite loud, probably too loud, and yeah, I can't directly control the volume from out here. Maybe you could wire something up apart, but I don't really want to be cutting holes in the case just to do that. Let's wait for the funky bit. One of my favourite pieces of mod music, this, from June. On the Amiga, is it? I think. So it sounds pretty good from here. I don't know what it sounds like through that. Oh, how do I quit? Yeah. Yeah, it's the yellow button and a My button, whereby you can go into settings, sound, and you can turn the internal speaker on or off. So you know you can't get rid of it if it becomes annoying, because those clicking noises are pretty loud. So I'd be interested to know what other people have done in this space. You know, Have you used amplifiers? Which is the best amplifier? Obviously I've added some capacitors for high and low filtering. What worked best for you? Did you encounter the issue with HDMI providing voltage when the machine is switched off? How did you tackle that? Did you use a MOSFET? What kind of speaker did you use, and do you actually like it? Or is it just annoying? Because I could see it becoming annoying quite quickly. But there are some people out there who really like the internal speaker, the internal beeper. I'll probably just keep this in. I might secure it a bit better. I might just use a hot glue gun. It's easily reversible. It's my next. I don't mind if it gets glued up and I can't make it look pretty inside again, because no one will ever see it. So yeah, be interested to know your thoughts on internal speakers and whether you would like one yourselves. Cheers.